attentive audience. Yes, 3 people. Okay. So I am going to inform you a little bit about gymnastics. I think it's a very unique sport, and I have a huge passion for it, and I want to be able to tell other people about it. Gymnastics, if you watched the Summer Olympics last summer in Rio de Janeiro, you might have seen that the USA women's gymnastics team won the team competition and they took home the gold. And if you haven't, you probably already do know that gymnastics is a sport and that it is hard to do. But I've been competing in gymnastics since I was 5 until I was about 16 years old. And I think that gymnastics has a lot of qualities that are beneficial, like agility, motivation. You become self-disciplined, you have self-motivation and self-confidence. I think that those are extremely important. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history, the modern day gymnastics, and why gymnastics is beneficial. I think that learning about the history of gymnastics first is very important because that's where the foundation was laid. So gymnastics has been a part of the early Greek civilizations for a very long time. The word gymnastics actually came from the word gymnasos or gymnos, which actually means to exercise naked, and that's from Gymnastics HQ. We also have a father of gymnastics, and this guy, his name is Friedrich Ludwig John, and he actually invented gymnastics in a way. He was part of the Prussian army in the early 1800s. They actually suffered a loss, and so he thought that he needed to strengthen the morale of the army. So he actually opened, according to Gymnastics HQ as well, an open-air gymnasium in 1811, where he instilled steel rings, high bar, and parallel bars in order to strengthen his army. He thought that that would be a good way. And so gymnastics has actually been around, according to Scholastic, since the very first Olympic Games in Athens, Greece, since 1896, and it's been present in the Olympic Games ever since. So that's just a little bit of the background of gymnastics, and I think that's important. And so I'm going to now tell you how it is in the modern day gymnastics, which is where we're, how gymnastics is today. According to Blast Motion, there's a lady named Olga Korbut, and in 1972, she actually changed gymnastics into what it is today. Before 1972, it was more focused on the grace and the choreography and the dancing part of gymnastics. Nowadays, it's actually more agility and more power and tumbling skills, and she helped change that into what it is today. She also helped change the scoring system, so it actually became more precise and accurate. But in 2000, it actually became even more complex and accurate. So instead of just giving you a 9 or an 8, you might get a 8.75 or a 9.75. So you can see how it's more complex. So the apparatus have also evolved throughout the days as well. We have the vault, who used to be a very skinny, long horse, and it was very skinny and it's very hard to place your hands on it. Nowadays it's actual table, and so it's much easier to place your hands on it and tumble over it. The bars used to be pure wood, and it was very hard to swing around them. So now they're more fiberglass, and they are very much more shock absorbent and easier for the gymnast to maneuver while they're swinging around them. The beam also used to be skinnier. It used to be 8 centimeters, and now it's 10 centimeters. And this was changed because they began to tumble on the apparatus of the beam, and became more difficult, so they did widen it, and it's actually still that way today. So I think that that's important because that's where we relate to more is the modern day gymnastics, and that's what I am involved in, and that's what anybody is involved in today. So I think there's also benefits to gymnastics. Gymnastics, according to Champaign Gymnastics Academy, says that it provides good physical fitness. And that's obvious because gymnasts are working out constantly, and they have very strong upper and lower body strengths, and so they're maintaining a very healthy lifestyle by working out so much. They can also, according to Healthy Fitness Revolution, you also have self-confidence, and it obviously does take a lot of self-confidence to get out in front of a whole audience and in front of a judge and actually be judged on what you're doing in front of the audience, and so that does take a lot of self-confidence to be able to perform like that. USA Gymnastics actually put it perfectly by saying, kids are not as happy if they're just going to school and they're learning verb conjugations. So if they were to go to the gym and learn and achieve their skill that they just achieved, their self-confidence does rise a lot. And so I think that that's very obvious. Also, according to Champaign Gymnastics Academy, kids learn social skills throughout gymnastics. So whenever you're learning social skills, I think it's obvious in the younger age that those kids are being taught to stand in line, wait their turn, interact with their coaches, cheer on their teammates. And older gymnasts are having to step into the leadership role and become role models for the younger girls and learn to encourage them and motivate them and just, be interacted with them. And that does develop social skills. So those are reasons why I think gymnastics is beneficial. It's very obvious that gymnastics is a huge part of my life because I love to learn about it and I like to tell other people about it. So the history, the modern day gymnastics, and the benefits of gymnastics are all huge parts of gymnastics. And I encourage anyone who hasn't tried gymnastics to maybe give it a try, or even just simply watch it on TV or go to a gym and watch the gymnasts and how they interact with coaches and how they work out. And so I'm going to open it up to questions now. And I'll video the questions. All right. Riley, what's your question for me?
What is the most important quality that you think you can develop through gymnastics?
Okay. I think that the most important quality that you can develop through gymnastics is something I personally experienced. I became very disciplined throughout my gymnastics. I learned how to manage my time and become very responsible by having to do my gymnastics as well as my schoolwork, and also having to put other skills before each other. And obviously something's more important than the other because maybe you're not as good as one skill as the other. And so I just think that self-discipline is very huge, and self-confidence is also a huge one for me. Getting out in front of an audience has always been a big fear of mine, but I think that through gymnastics I'm much more confident getting up in front of people and talking and performing. Okay, Mac, what is your question?
Why do you think Friedrich resorted to gymnastic type exercises?
Okay. I think Friedrich resorted to gymnastic exercises because it's something different that a lot of people think about, and I think it's awesome that he actually thought about doing that kind of stuff. Stuff like he invented were the still rings, and when you're using the still rings, you're learning how to really get up and use your upper body strength and your pectoral muscles and your biceps and triceps by holding yourself up. And I think that became strong for his army when they're able to just be a lot stronger, and I think that was huge. And also whenever they were using the high bar or the parallel bars, I mean, it takes more than just upper body strength, and I think that all the agility that they used was also part of their lower body, and I think it just helped them maintain a good perseverance throughout their army. So, thank you.